It's your bear here, and in today's video we are going back to Ghostwire Tokyo to learn even more about the yokai featured in-game. I'll be comparing those creatures to their real-world inspirations from traditional Japanese folklore. Now, just to remind you, yokai is the Japanese term for a supernatural entity or spirit, which can be both helpful or harmful to humans. So let's start off with one of the most well-known yokai in modern Japan. Hanako-san is a sinister spirit who haunts the schools of Japan. Her ghostly presence is said to lurk in the girls' bathroom on the 3rd floor of every school building. If you're brave enough to enter, knock 3 times on the 3rd stall door, call out her name, and you just might summon her. But be warned, if she appears before you, the little girl might just grant you a wish, but she also might drag you straight to hell. The legend of Hanako-san has spread like wildfire among Japanese schoolchildren. Some daring students play the game of summoning her, challenging their classmates to test their own bravery, but few are actually prepared for the terror that awaits them if she answers their call. Hanako is often described as wearing a white dress and having a bobbed haircut. Some accounts say that she was a victim of a murder or child abuse, while others say she took her own life. Regardless of her backstory, the results are always the same. The summoner will be at the mercy of Hanako's whims, to grant a wish or inflict grave pain and even death. But Hanako-san is not the only ghost said to haunt the school bathrooms of Japan. There are tales of other bathroom-based ghosts, which are even more terrifying than Hanako herself. If a child is unfortunate enough to encounter one of these other yokai, it is said that Hanako-san might appear to protect the children from these other malevolent spirits. So if you value your life, think twice before you enter the 3rd floor bathroom. You never know what horrors may await you on the other side of the stall door. And if you do summon Hanako-san, pray she doesn't drag you down to the fiery depths of hell with her bloody hand. The Ningyo lurk in the ocean depths off the coast of Japan. Cited since ancient times, stories of this yokai are some of the oldest in Japanese legend. They may resemble mermaids, but the Ningyo are much more sinister than your average merfolk. Forget the sultry sirens of Western folklore, for Ningyo are hideous creatures that will leave you trembling with fear. The stuff of true nightmares, their faces are deformed and fish-like, their fingers long, bony, with razor-sharp claws. Their otherworldly appearance is said to be enough to make your blood run cold. In Ghostwire Tokyo, they also appear to be wrapped in garbage bags, likely ones found in the ocean, in order to help them better suit their urban environment. Legend says that eating the flesh of a Ningyo can grant a person eternal youth, but be warned that such endeavors come with great peril. For anyone foolish enough to wound a Ningyo is said to have to face a powerful curse, one so strong that it has been known to swallow entire towns in earthquakes or tidal waves. The Ningyo are best avoided at all costs, but if you must seek them out, be prepared for one of the most harrowing encounters of your life. Betobeto-san walks the streets of Japan at night. These yokai are formless, but you'll know that they're near by the clacking sound of their footsteps. They will follow you, step for step, getting ever closer and closer until the haunting sound of their footsteps is all that you can hear. It is said that it is enough to drive people mad. These yokai are not normally dangerous, but in Ghostwire Tokyo they have become far more malevolent, hurling nearby objects at their poor, unsuspecting victims. If you ever find yourself being followed by a Betobeto-san, you need to act quickly. Some legends say that you should step to the side of the road and say, "After you, Betobeto-san." If you're lucky, you'll hear its footsteps continue off and eventually vanish into the distance, leaving you alone in the darkness once again. So if you hear those footsteps following you down a quiet street late at night, be careful, for the Betobeto-san may be watching. The Nyudo are terrifying demons that wander between the underworld and the world of the living. Typically seen guarding the gates of the underworld, these yokai can also be found in the pathways between villages. Nyudo are feared by all who encounter them. Their giant flaming cartwheels are actually imprisoning the heads of once wicked men. Simply viewing one of these damned souls is enough to strike fear into the hearts of all who see them. In Kyoto, there is a legend of a woman who made the mistake of looking out her window at the Nyudo passing by. The demon snarled at her and pointed behind her to her baby. When she turned around and saw her screaming child on the floor in a pool of its own blood, she panicked. Looking back at the demon, she could make out the child's legs dangling from its mouth. The Nyudo was grinning madly as it chewed on the child's flesh. These demons do not discriminate, as they will prey upon the wicked and the innocent. Their fiery wheels scratch along the roads, looking for their next victim to drag back to the pits of hell. The Nyudo revel in the agony caused by their own internal suffering and take pleasure in inflicting similar pain upon others. They capture their victims and drag them to hell to face judgment and eternal damnation. And then they return to Earth to do it all over again. Smart townfolk know to avoid the roads and stay away from doors and windows when the Nyudo has been sighted. It is said that even glimpsing one of them is enough to bring calamity upon an entire family or clan. Wara Ningyo may not be a yokai, but it is no less terrifying. These straw dolls are often used to ward off evil spirits, but they can also be used to control them, as well as used in dark magic practices. The Wara Ningyo are typically made of straw twisted together to create a humanoid doll-like figure. These dolls are said to be able to contain both curses and evil spirits. During the Heian period, Wara Ningyo were placed along the roadside to help ward off illness and plague. It was thought that evil spirits which brought disease would take up residence in the straw dolls instead of the humans walking down the road. These effigies would then be discarded into the river, which was believed to help purify them of the evil spirits. Wara Ningyo are also commonly used in dark magic rituals. The dolls can be constructed with something from the intended target, such as a lock of hair, and that would turn the Wara Ningyo into a substitute for that person. Long metal nails would then be driven through the object, harming the victim as if it were the doll. There are very specific rules for creating a Wara Ningyo. The required items are not typically sold in stores, but some websites do sell pre-made curse kits that contain all the necessary components. If you ever come across one of these nailed to a tree, it is best not to disturb it, for the curse could be transferred to you. The Tsuchigumo lurk in the shadows of Japanese forests and mountains. An entire race of spider-like yokai. These creatures are born from ordinary spiders that have lived for far too long, and grown and transformed until they've become monstrous in both size and hunger. The Tsuchigumo make their home in silken tubes and wait for prey to pass by and become ensnared in their giant sticky webs. Often relying on illusion and trickery to deceive people, many a lone traveler have said to become victims, often trapped in the giant webs and eaten whole by this cunning yokai. But the Tsuchigumo are not content with merely eating people. There are numerous stories which tell of much greater ambitions. In one legend, a Tsuchigumo took the form of a beautiful warrior woman and led an army of spider yokai against all of Japan. This army attacked the capital, but when she herself was struck by a powerful blow, her entire army vanished, revealing itself to be nothing more than an illusion. The woman fled to a nearby cave in the mountains, where she changed into her true form, a giant spider monster. When the Japanese army followed her into the cave and sliced open her abdomen, thousands of baby spiders the size of human infants swarmed out of her engorged belly. So it is safe to say, if you ever come across one of the Tsuchigumo, it is best to run, for you're likely already in their trap. And that's it for round 2. Ghostwire Tokyo just keeps on giving, and I really like the vibes of this game so much. The new update adds a lot to the world. This blend of traditional Japanese monsters and the hyper-realistic urban Tokyo setting is just so much fun. But, what do you think? Did you like the new update? What are your favorite yokai? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. It would really mean a lot to me and help with my motivation in making more videos like this. And, as always, thanks for watching.